Proper food choicing and preparation is the key to maintaining your weight, your health, and your life. If you live on hope alone that you're going to have the right foods, you're going to lose. I don't care who you are and where you are, unless you just live around restaurants and you make the right choices. Going to a normal food store, not a Whole Foods or something special, a regular health grocery store, picking out the right protein, the right carbs, and the right fat. Everything comes down to those three ratios: the right protein, the right fat, and the right carbs. Anything less is going to create some negative consequences. So let's go on this journey. The number one component of the macros is protein. You lack protein, you're going to lose muscle mass, you're going to be hungrier, you're going to be more unhealthy as we age. It's a true myth that protein is like hard on the kidneys. It is if you have kidney failure, but it's not if you're a healthy person. So what do I choose for my protein? It's the premier choice. I only have two things I ever choose. One is like a turkey, which we'll talk about, but the second one is eggs. You can't cook eggs. You'd have these, all this is going to be in a cold pack somewhere, and you don't have a stove, you don't have a microwave. Most stores, and we're in regular Food City store, has already prepared hard-boiled eggs. You'd always want to look on the label. All this has is eggs, water, and citric acid. That's not bad a bit. And we're talking healthy fat, 4 grams of healthy fat. We're talking 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and protein of 6 grams per egg. That's pretty darn good because it's easy to eat 3 eggs, so that's 18 grams of protein. So hard-boiled eggs, that's the way to do it. Now this choice is the meat of the day. If you're vegetarian, we have to make other choices, but if you're not, picking turkey has always been my number one go-to. Got to be careful with this, not like some of the other things that, or like cheese is pretty good overall. You got all kind of packaging. I've looked at these. Some of these have way too much sugar in them, and dextrose and fructose and chemicals. We're in a regular grocery store, so we're not going to find anything that's perfect by any means. Just picking up, like this, you're going to look on the back label, turkey breast, and if it says contains less than 2%, you're getting pretty small amounts of the salt and sugar. If it's not below that 2% list, put it back and look further. But using this is your grand protein source. It's pretty darn stable in a cooler, and if you notice, or I will tell you, every single thing we pick out is on the perimeter of the grocery store. Nothing's in the middle. Wonder why? Because almost all the processed foods are found in the middle because they're so addictive. That's they know people are going to find it there, and they know they gravitate to those kind of foods because those foods are addictive. They're drugs, and we have to know that in order to go through detox so that we don't always crave them. The only reason you crave them is because your chemistry is out of sync. When you eat the right macros, the right protein, fats, and carbs, which we're going to have a link on here with me educating you of how to do that easily without doing a lot of hard work. And when you get it settled in your system for 4 weeks, the cravings will go down by 80%, we'll guarantee it. But be particular about your turkeys, look at the labels, choose the best you can, and use that as your main protein source, and or the other we've talked about, which is the eggs. You could do eggs alone, but they don't fill me up enough. I like the turkey as far as my little snack and as my main entree. Okay, on choosing the vegetable that we're going to have with this meal, you almost can't do anything because you're not going to cook it, and you can't prepare it. So what are we going to do? Well, luckily we have a lot of packaged greens, and the one I'd really like the best is premium romaine because it has romaine lettuce, leaf lettuce, shredded carrots, and red cabbage. And the reason I'm really doing this is not because the nutritive content so much of this, it's because I can put something on it that's magical. Quality olive oil, which I carry with me to every single restaurant. I leave it in my car. Olive oil, great quality. If it's in the right bottle, hidden in darkness, is preserved very well, even in the heat, because I want 2 tablespoons a day of olive oil. Very important to slow down insulin production, be more like the Mediterranean diet, has great studies on its longevity. Most of all the seed oils, the canolas and the safflowers, and those oils are horrendously unhealthy for us. That's why the dressings do not do well. They hardly ever have good oils. So this will be my vegetable that gives me also the ability to put fat on it, which is my 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Just a quick tip that I had learned from my co-host on Vital Health Radio, Dr. Chris Green. He was making these things with using the turkey, using cheese, a pickle, and he would wrap it all together, roll the turkey up, and have the pickle and the cheese inside. He would bring them to me on the morning shows that we have at Vital Health Radio. I love that as a different taste. And so when looking at cheeses is easy, because actually there's very few cheeses that are I would call junky cheeses. I mean, I pick up this one right here, the Sargento. All it has is the basic ingredients: pasteurized milk, cheese culture, salt, and enzymes. Get some of this, it's very stable. In fact, when I did my trip I've talked about, I had cheese that was unrefrigerated for 2 days and it was perfectly fine. Not saying you could do that, but it's more stable than a lot of things. The other component to this plan of action is blueberries. Blueberries are the one single fruit that I think probably has the best ability, based on research, to extend our memory and maintain it. Also, it doesn't produce much insulin or blood sugar elevations because of the low glycemic index. These are not organic. Hey, we have to do sometimes what we have to do. And these blueberries, I would wash them with some vegetable soap of some sort, but blueberries are tremendous. I eat them every single day for my mental and my physical health. The last choice, of course, is the beverage. That is something found in the middle of the grocery store. Most of these beverages are containing sugar, chemicals, so we go to the waters. So even with the waters, there's a lot of gray area. We don't really know the source of most of these. You can look it up and you can find out which one's less contaminants. Number one thing to me is, if we can, let's get a glass bottle, because the plastics are acting as pretend estrogens and they are causing grief within our neural system as far as hormones and all kind of health ailments. Well, Mountain Valley, actually we sell this at Nutrition World, is a great glass one that's been around for decades, and I trust their quality. Pellegrino, it's carbonated. I've always liked Pellegrino and Perrier. Are they perfect? No, they're not. But we can't have perfect when we're hustling to put together a plan. This is 97% better than what most people eat every day, even though it's not perfect. Don't strive for perfection. Strive for the right macros, which are protein, fats, and carbs, and then you strive for the best cleanliness, and you will win in the end, I promise you. Going out there in the world without preparation and having hope as your only plan is a loser, a loser. So let us keep empowering you with education on your health. Thank you.